What is going on? It's your boy JeezPlayingAgain. With the release of Crusader class last week, I have been busy testing out a lot of builds and some optimal ways to use the Crusader in all sorts of situations. For this build, I'll be showing you my way of doing the Sacrifice Paladin. And if you're new to the channel or have been lurking around for a while, I hope now you can subscribe to my channel and like this video. The more support I get from you, the more guides and information I can keep bringing you. Now, without any further ado, let's get started. Sacrifice Paladin has been a long-time favorite build for a lot of Paladin players. While even in the original it was a very strong and viable build to go, and now I bring it to you in Ragnarok Origin. In Ragnarok Origin, the Sacrifice skills ignores the enemy's defense and fleet status, and the skill increases in damage with more HP you have. I will be breaking this guide down in 4 different sections: skills, stats, equipments and cars, and beers, cores, and metal. Let's start with the skills section. As a swordsman, I want the following skills: HP recovery, one-handed sword mastery, bash, provoke, and endure. Nothing too important to take here. I chose to go with level 10 endure for PvP and woe reasons only. The HP recovery is actually important as you will be taking your own HP a lot, so recovery is good. Now let's go over the Crusader skills. As a Crusader, I went the following skills: Faith, shield charge, heal, spear mastery, guardian, demon bane. Faith is going to be your most important skill in this tree, as Faith will increase your HP by a set amount per level, and HP is important for a Sacrifice Paladin. I chose to go for Spear Mastery level 5 instead of level 10 because I wanted to take Shield Charge and Guardian. I will explain why I took those 2 skills later. You can honestly take out Demon Bane and max out Spear Mastery, but it's completely up to you. This is just how I am building it at the moment. But please note the Spear Mastery skill is a prerequisite for the Sacrifice skill in the Paladin tree. Now let's take a look at the Paladin skills. As a Paladin, I went the following skills: Tenacity, Reflect Shield, Gospel, Defender, Spear Quicken, and Sacrifice. Remember when I told you I took Guardian and Shield Charge? Well, the reason is it is a prerequisite for the Tenacity skill. The Tenacity skill increases your HP by a set percentage per level. It's basically another Faith skill, meaning it will increase your HP by even more. And the higher your HP, the more damage you do. Since Sacrifice's damage scale with more HP, having higher HP is better than having higher attack. I took Reflective Shield for the extra defensive plays as it will help kill your physical attackers much faster. Gospel is for party members, and I took Spear Quicken for the extra attack speed. And having Sacrifice is a must because this wouldn't be a Sacrifice Paladin guy without this skill. It's like trying to eat a burrito without the tortilla and still calling it burrito. But these are the skills I have chosen that seems best as a Sacrifice Paladin. Now let's move on to the stats section. The stats for a Sacrifice Paladin is very straightforward. Max out Vid, and you can either go Int or Agility. My preferred stat is to go for Agility as it will allow you to proc your Sacrifice attack much faster, thus being able to kill all your opponents at a much faster rate. If you take Int, however, you'll be able to self-sustain through heal, thus allowing you to live to see another day. The options are open for you, but I recommend the Agility way, young grasshopper. And that is also the reason why I took Spear Quicken as one of my skills, to be able to attack faster. Now that you know what skills and stats I went as a Sacrifice Pally, let's go over what equipments and cars I am using. These are all level 80 gears I'll be talking about. If you are playing on an older server with a high server level, skip the level 50 equipment and go straight for level 70 weapon and shield only. And then at level 80, go for the armor set and slowly make your weapon and shield again. You will be perfectly fine with the level 70 weapons even until level 90. Now, all of these equipments, especially the headgears, can all be interchangeable. Just go for the one that gives you the most HP. Let's start with the headgear first. You can go for Halloween hat, octopus hat, mushroom hat, strawberry donut. I added the Halloween hat in case there are some players who was playing during the episode 2 carnival event. If you have this hat, then you're good to go, as it gives a huge amount of HP. If not, then the other examples are still viable options. Other equipments you can use are Deviling or Mushroom Backpack, Nurse's Outfit, or the Mouse Costume. If you have an equipment that gives far more Vid or HP stat than the ones that I just named, feel free to use those instead. I am giving examples of items that majority of the players can obtain without spending money. Now let's move on to the armor, garment, and shoe equipments. I am currently aiming for the Goblin set at level 80 and onwards, as this equipment gives out huge HP bonuses as well as great defensive stats. And as a set bonus, you get all elemental resistance as well as extra SP. Also, the shoes gives a 5% increase in movement speed. This is especially good since Sacrifice Paladins needs to be upfront and personal with their enemies. For shields, I got the Sacred Shield. as it gives the most HP out of all of them, and at refinement level 6, it gives a 30% increase on your faith skill. If you have the resources, try to refine it to max level. At max level, you gain more HP from healing effects, as well as a shield that is worth 5% of your max HP every time you receive some sort of healing. For weapon, I decided to use a chili spear. This weapon locks down a target for 1 second after a physical attack and can be procced every 5 seconds. It also reduces the amount of HP you take from using the sacrifice skill by 30%. Alongside with its additional attack speed, it gives 2 additional hits on sacrifice at refinement level 6. And at max refinement level, you can hit with sacrifice until the duration of the skill is finished. This is one of the best weapons to use as a Sacrifice Paladin. Now let's talk about what cards to use. I added cards you can use if you have the luxury and luck of getting them, and some easy to obtain cards for those who aren't as lucky. These cards are Scale Worker, Hydra, Marina, Mark, Peko Peko, Eclipse, Choco, or any element reducing cards, Verit, Sohi, or if extremely lucky and good, Moonlight or Dark Lord, Muka, Injustice, Orc Archer, Stemworm, or Horong. I chose to go with Marina because Sacrifice is still register as a normal physical attack, meaning you have a chance to cause freezing effect on your enemy. Mark is used so you don't get frozen all the time, but if you don't care, then go for Peko Peko instead. And like how I said, since Sacrifice register as a normal physical attack, using cards like Injustice or Stemworm will proc additional attacks as well. I personally use Horong for PvP and WoW only. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. These cards are all interchangeable with whatever you deem best or have the option of getting, so play around with it if you like. Now let's move on to the final section, Beerus cores and medals. For medals, I am maxing out the Guardian medal first as it increases your max HP as well as increasing your physical attack. I followed that up with the Wisdom medal. Again, this medal gives you increased HP as well as increasing your magical attack. The next 2 medals you can get is the Defensive medal for physical and magical. That will help you last longer in battle. As for Beerus cores, I suggest you go for these gears: Sacrifice Immunity and Strength and Faith. The Sacrifice Immunity core reduces the HP you take from Sacrifice by 20%. With this gear and your weapon, you should be taking a lot less damage from your own skill. The Strength and Faith core increases your max HP by 200 per level of your Faith, meaning you gain an extra 2000 HP if you're using this core and you have your Faith at level 10. This is important as it will increase your sacrifice damage a lot, and that is my guide on Sacrifice Paladin. Something to note if you're playing this character is that it is a glass cannon. You may think because you have a lot of HP you can still tank, but that is not it. The more damage you deal, the more damage you also take from the skill, and without the proper sustainment, you can still be brought down. This is a great build to go for if you're trying to have fun with PvP, but not a build for farming. But I will have a Paladin farming build coming out soon, so get ready for that. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you have any questions, make sure you write it down in the comments. I'll try to answer everyone's questions as fast as possible. Have a happy holidays, don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Stay safe and I'll see you next year.